Educational Communications and this station present Environmental Directions with Nancy Perlman. On this series, we explore the effects of human influence on the Earth's ecosystems and discuss solutions to environmental problems which affect the quality of life on this planet. Environmental Directions gives you the kind of information you need to help you participate in decisions impacting your community, the nation, and the world. Now, here's your host, Nancy Perlman.
Hello. My guests are Ron Alpert and Dr. Lam Do. They are co-founders of GoCyclingNowUSA. Ron is the president and Lam is the treasurer. Ron has also been a realtor and business coach, and Lam is an internist at Kaiser. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Pleasure to be here.
Yes.
You formed your nonprofit organization to promote cycling. Ron, why?
What we noticed after just writing a few years, I've been writing like 7 or 8 Lambs, maybe a year or two longer, is that we're seeing a lot of older people, a lot of people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, but we weren't seeing a lot of youth. I know when I grew up, at 6, I had a bike. At 7, I was riding all over the town. I enjoyed the sense of freedom and the wind blowing through my hair. And I'm looking around, and I don't see a lot of kids. And so both of our kids are out of school in their 20s. But we started wondering, what could we do to help the cycling industry, but more than that, help kids start to enjoy freedom and joy of cycling.
Lam, you have a personal interest because for over 20 years you were involved with childhood leukemia and raised money for your son who had it at a very early age at 18 months. So you've been doing these cycling road races across the country to promote both medical research and cycling?
Nancy, well, I am fairly new to cycling. I guess when I was a child, I had a bicycle. When I was in college, I had a mountain bike for maybe 1 year. And from college to about 10 years ago, I never touched a bicycle because I was a basketball player. I played basketball for 35 years, and then my left knee said, "You are done." And that was when I had to find a low-impact sport, and it was either swimming or cycling. Because I'm from Vietnam, the tropics, I didn't like cold water, so I chose cycling. 20 years ago, my son had leukemia, so part of riding across America was to promote stem cell and bone marrow awareness.
Cycling, of course, has changed as the technology for bicycles has changed. We see the pictures of 100 years ago with these big, gigantic wheels. And when I was riding my bike to school in the 50s, we only had one gear. And then the 10 speeds became popular, and now we have mountain bicycles and many other kinds of unique bicycles where we can even put on a little electric unit and make an ordinary bicycle an electric bicycle to use it both for recreation and transportation. Is that what you're encouraging?
We're encouraging all types. Where we're coming from is safety first. So in our courses in middle and high schools, we're coming from how do you ride a bike safely? Of course, there's other aspects. We're teaching them hands-on, how do you repair a flat or how do you repair this and that on the bike. So we want the kids to learn how to be self-sufficient and feel comfortable out on the road. But it's safety first. What I've noticed, I think it's a sad instance, I have a lot of people with these e-bikes and they go fast, and they don't wear helmets, they don't know proper signaling, they don't follow the rules of the road, and I just know there's going to be some calamity, and they're going to suffer. If you're riding safe, you can ride more enjoyably.
You're focused in San Diego County in California, and yet the name of your organization implies that you care about what's going on across the country. Are there chapters, are there units, are there other organizations that you are providing your safety programs to so that they can educate people about how to enjoy and engage in cycling in a better way?
We are a new organization. We are starting our second year. So our curriculum is adopted from a national standard curriculum. We are at one school currently, but we will expand to a second school this year. After that, another school, and eventually all through San Diego County. And then we'll go to Orange County and nationally, if possible. That's why we named it GoCyclingNowUSA.
In California, there's a law that requires helmets for children. Up to what age? Should that not be required for adults who are cycling as well, just as we have helmet laws for motorcycles?
Absolutely. When your head hits the ground and you don't have a helmet on, it has that smash of a watermelon sound. Alone should scare you to go out and buy a $20 or $30 helmet. Oh yeah, you can buy $300 and $400 helmets, but helmets and safety equipment is readily accessible. So there's no reason that the state shouldn't require that people have helmets as well as take a safety course.
Personally, I have crashed a few times. I think if you ride long enough, you will have accidents. And the 2 times that I've had these accidents, if it wasn't for my helmet, I wouldn't be here talking to you.
We're glad you are talking to us because I want to hear about your ride when you joined RAM, Race Across America, and you're getting ready now to ride from Oceanside to Durango in the Race Across the West. What are these races, and how many miles did you do, and how many hours and days did it take?
In 2019, I entered my team in the 8-person Race Across America category, and for the 8 of us, we had to ride from Oceanside, California, to Annapolis, Maryland, across the country, across 12 states, and the cutoff is 9 days.
You were riding at night also?
We rode around the clock. Someone had to ride at any time of the day because to cover over 3,000 miles in 9 days, we had to use all 9 of the days. It was very difficult because obviously we had to cross over the Rocky Mountains. We had to cross the plains. We had to deal with the Appalachian Mountain. We didn't get very much sleep.
I congratulate you because I have done running races, 50-milers, 100-milers. They're exhausting.
It was the hardest physical thing I've ever done, physically and emotionally, because just imagine 8 cyclists, all the supporting crew and cast, no sleep, and there's safety, nutrition. We had to deal with a hailstorm, thunderstorm, windstorm, flooding. It was just incredible. Looking back, I couldn't believe we did it, but we were successful.
The longest race that I did on this bicycle was the 112 miles through the lava fields during the Ironman triathlon. That's not easy either when you've got the temperature not in your favor.
Yes.
And the winds. We talked about safety. Another concern that I have, aside from helmets, is that people at night aren't having lights and reflectors, aren't wearing reflective clothing. And also, I see daytime and nighttime people bicycling against the traffic, and they actually don't realize that it's safer for a bicycle to ride with the traffic. Why is that?
I think there's some cultural elements. People from other countries, they're accustomed to riding on the opposite side. When you go down into Mexico, they're accustomed to walking against traffic. So I think they simply go ahead and, keep doing it, not knowing because they don't know the traffic laws. If you're well lit up, you have your blinkies, you have reflective vests, you have reflective material all over your body and your bike, you are more readily seen coming from the rear. Now there are lights that are really bright. Lam and I have a light that's visible for 1.5 kilometers at night.
Bicycles are considered vehicles.
No, not in California. They call them devices. That was a way that they could get around calling them vehicles.
The other aspect of cycling that I got involved with, even though I prefer hiking and running, even horseback riding, which I did for 13 years with my horse, is having bicycle lanes and dedicated areas to make it safe. I enjoyed riding on the river levees that didn't have the vehicles. So many roads don't have shoulders that are safe to ride in or bicycle lanes. And of course, the countries with the most cyclists who use it, where everybody seems to be riding a bicycle, is the Netherlands, and they have dedicated pathways so that they are distinct from the cars. Don't we need more bicycle lanes and dedicated lanes?
I absolutely agree with you on that. One of the major reasons that people don't ride a bike commuting to work, for example, is because they worry for their life. You weigh a certain amount, but the car is 4,000, 3,000 pounds. And if that car hits you while you're riding your bike to work, you are going to die. And we are an automobile-centric society since Henry Ford and the invention of the automobile. But we need to go the other way. We need to get more people on bike. And to do that, we need to make it safe. If they don't feel safe, they will less likely to ride a bike. And so we as a country need to do more of that.
The other aspect of using bicycles, not just for recreation, but for transportation, is to have a safe place to lock them up so they're not stolen. Are there any kinds of statistics indicating how many bicycles are stolen and what we need to do to make it safer to park them?
I know the Escondido and San Diego police sometimes go under the viaducts and find thousands of stolen bicycles. You can register your bike with the police department, but there is no sure way to lock them up. San Diego happens to be one of the worst places in the state for bicycle theft. There's no form of cable. You could carry like a 20-pound lock with a chain, but the purpose is to be on the bike and be mobile, and you don't want to weigh yourself down. There could be things I noticed in Amsterdam when I was there last, that they had a plethora of these bike racks that would lock your bike in. They look pretty pick-proof. I don't think there's an easy answer for that question.
Most of your cycling promotion is for ordinary bicycles where we pedal away, but are we going to see an increase in electric bikes?
Yes, the bike industry is growing dramatically. As a physician, I promote my patient to get out there and just be active. Whether that's on a regular bike, an e-bike, it doesn't matter to me. You just need to get moving. And if an e-bike is what will it take for you to get out and be active, I'm all for that. I have no trouble with e-bikes.
Are insurance companies insuring people for riding their bicycle for injuries and so forth?
There is a binder that you can get. And according to our attorney, you have to add this umbrella to your household policy. And so you should have a $2 million total policy to cover you against uninsured motorists.
What future rides do you have in mind?
We're going to ride the Empire Trail, which goes from Buffalo and Niagara Falls down to mid-Manhattan. And it's going to take us a week. And it's mostly what they call rails to trails. So they're gentle inclines that used to be housing railroad tracks that have been regraded and repurposed for cycling.
Maybe I need to join you.
Come on.
Be a fun experience. It's been fun talking to you about cycling and the importance of this form of transportation and recreation. I hope that next time we can carry on our conversation out there on the road as we cycle away to enjoy the scenic beauty of our world here and get healthy at the same time. I want to thank you so very much for being my guest.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you for having us.
I have been speaking with Ron Alpert, who is co-founder and president of GoCyclingNowUSA, and Lam Do, who is co-founder and treasurer of GoCyclingNowUSA. I'm Nancy Perlman. Thank you very much for joining us, and do tune in again next week.
If you would like free information about these environmental issues, go to www.ecoprojects.org or call 310-559-9160. Environmental Directions with your host, Nancy Perlman, is a community affairs program of the nonprofit organization Educational Communications and this station.